Hi.
I'm sitting with Mike Cannon-Brookes, and I'm pretty excited.
Thanks. Good to be here.
I know this is not a question yet. I wanted to ask you two questions concerning my company and what we do,
Sure.
and then some questions about your company and what you're going to be doing.
Sure.
Okay, so I assume, as we are a partner of Atlassian, you've heard of Cybert Media. Can you say anything about us, what you know about Cybert Media, and what may be good or?
Sure. You guys are one of our biggest expert partners around the world, specializing obviously in the German, European markets, but pretty much covering all the products that we have, sort of A to Z of professional services. And very happy to have you guys on board. I think you've won a number of partner awards from us.
Actually, I think in 2011 it was the fastest growing partner and
you.
Let's see, we're still
number one.
There's this internal. We won this one, and then I think there's this. What's it called? Charlie Club. It's Charlie is your guy holding up the world, right? And we're still kind of struggling with that. It's narrow if we can be part of this.
I think you guys will get there.
Yeah,
I have faith.
Thanks. We're still working on it. Okay, cool. Actually, we're carrying out a so-called Confluence Design Annual, preparing a Jira Design Annual, which is very similar to Jacob Nielsen's Internet Design Annual, trying to find out what are the best practices and things that massive implementations of Confluence and Jira do. Anything that you can say about this? Do you like it? Any comments?
Sure. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a fascinating idea to get. Enterprises always want to know how they compare to other enterprises effectively, and so doing a survey or a design annual, if you like, across all of those customers and aggregating results and giving them back to those people that participate, I think it's a really good idea. I think the customers will be very excited to participate, and I know the number of times that we've sent out pieces of data saying, hey, compared to other, 200 user companies, you're in this sort of realm. People are very interested in that data, so I think you'll get a lot of participation. So
when I'm on the page asking myself, should I take time to do this survey now? Your answer is?
I don't know how long the survey will take you to do, but
it's one
of those things that if you want the answers across everybody to see how you compare, then you have to kind of be willing to put in a little bit of time up front. So I think it's a pretty good trade-off for them.
Yeah, okay. That's a very good question. Actually, it only takes I think 10 minutes, or it's a 5-page. Actually, if you are interested in this, you can fill out the survey and get the study for free. So this is the main deal already. I'm going to approach you and ask you if you want to be part of an interview. It can be either public, so we'll do some marketing for you, and Mike can see you on YouTube, or it couldn't be anonymously. So we get some more information about you. We heavily rely on people doing interviews with us to get more than just these standard questions.
Yeah, you want the qualitative and the quantitative data, right? It's not just
exactly
surveys and percentages. So I'm interested to see and fascinated to see the results. I hope.
Yeah, I've been asking also. Yeah. We just started this off, so just collected the first answers from some existing customers.
Yeah, but I'm sure we'd love to see the answers too and participate. So
yeah, and I'm pretty sure that your answer here will help us boost this a bit.
Excellent.
Okay, so actually that's it from my marketing perspective. Let's see what you can tell us a bit about Atlassian and where it's going. Where's Atlassian going?
Onward and upward. We just keep chugging away, really. We always have new products, new releases of products coming out. We have an ever-growing base of customers. We're north of 25,000 enterprise customers now, so meeting and exceeding all of their needs is an ever larger job as we get an ever larger customer base. Mm-hmm. So we just keep trying to make better software today than we did yesterday and continue to do that.
Every now and then, people who don't know programming like me hear of people who know programming selling the companies for outrageous numbers. And I assume that Scott and you, the founders of the company, could have sold your company like multiple times to to companies if you have would have wanted that.
Sure.
Why didn't you do, and what does this mean for me as a customer of Atlassian?
Why didn't we do that? I guess to sell something, you have to want to get out of it, and you have to be done in some sense, right? I think we've never really been done. We have a lot more work to do in front of us, I think. I'm more excited about where we're going to be in 5 years' time than I ever have been in the last 11 years, right? We're cranking on all cylinders, have some amazing products, just an awesome team of people. So I don't know what I would do tomorrow.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, we've exceeded any monetary dreams we had, which were very modest at the start. So the rest is kind of, I don't need to go to work every day to make money anymore, but that doesn't mean I don't come to work. Like I'm sitting on a beach in Tahiti, I'd be bored in a week, and I'd want my old job back. So it's just a case of not doing that. Understanding yourself, and we love what we do. It's a great company. We've got great customers, great people. I mean, I do it for free.
So let's check. What is in 2 sentences the vision of Atlassian? What do you want to solve or offer?
Sure. I mean, we're trying to empower teams, every team on the planet, basically, to, as our mission statement says, to advance humanity using the power of software.
Okay.
So we think software is a hugely transformative device for all of humanity to actually make society a better place, to make people happier about their jobs, about their productivity, about whatever it is that they're doing. It's basically one of the single largest, if you write the history of the world, the steam engine, all sorts of other things, software, computer technology, and specifically software in the last few years, 10, 20 years, is the single largest increase in productivity that we've had. So we help people make awesome software, and we make awesome software that helps teams be more empowered. So
software for software teams.
Software for software teams and software for every team.
Yeah, cool.
So more and more as we expand out of pure software teams into, product teams and holistic business teams, there's a lot of the lessons that we've learned there that can be reapplied.
The market out there is raging about or talking a lot about tech companies going public now. I've heard other names, and I've read multiple times and heard people talk about Atlassian going public.
Sure.
And is there a date already? Is that a fixed plan?
No date. Look, it's definitely a possibility for us in the future. Like always, we try to do things cautiously and make sure they have a reason and do them properly. We're a very high quality company in terms of our actions and trying to do everything properly. So, look, it's certainly a possibility in the future, but it's nothing that needs... it shouldn't change people's view on the company in any way, shape or form. And we tell people internally it's a financing event. It's a big milestone for the company. And, should we get to that point? But it's not a finishing tape or a victory lap or anything. It's just it's a step on the journey to being a great company.
Can I buy some shares beforehand?
You can't buy them at the moment. You would be able to buy them afterwards, I guess, if it's public.
I would assume, yeah.
So I'm not allowed to give any financial advice of any description, I'm sure. Okay. My GC would tell me to say that. So, consult your financial advisor when that day happens.
Okay. When Google went public, which in my point of view as a partner is a similar event, then the 2 founders, as far as I understood, they kept themselves having more votes than others to make sure that those 2 kind of keep influential. Sure. Is that something that you consider?
I mean, it's not something we'd rule out. It's something we'd definitely consider. I mean, there's a lot of companies nowadays that have super voting shares of some description. I'm pretty sure Facebook has that, and Nzinga has that. So it's more and more common. Look, I think it's a difficult calculation, right, for everybody around the place. I mean, if you're an investor in the business, you have to trust the people running it pretty heavily if they have effectively unlimited voting rights for a period of time. But at the same time, a lot of these businesses, if they've been running for a long time and doing well, you sort of implicitly trust them to invest anyway. So, look, I think it's an open question mark, really.
Yeah, actually, this is not a question, but my personal opinion, I was hoping for you to do something like this because just what you said from the history, from what you did, it would give me as a partner a lot of trust in things will probably go on as they went for the past, which is something that I was searching for, and customers will also, right?
Yeah, I mean, Scott and I still, as majority shareholders, it's not a non-issue for us, but I guess it's less important than other businesses, perhaps.
Yeah, cool. And this is just to say thank you. When I talk to my employees, we are always talking about change and how difficult it is to embrace change, and this is a constant that Atlassian gives us, like a very fast innovation cycles, very fast releases, things that emerge in your products where you thought, oh, I didn't think that this would be possible with this product, and if you could be able to keep that up while maintaining this growth, that would be awesome. Is there any strategy that you have for doing that?
For maintaining change?
Yeah. Or innovation or...
we have a lot of strategies for promoting innovation and allowing it to happen. You can't really make it happen. I think, change is a constant in our business, and you need to, in our industry perhaps, and you need to build your business such that that's understood by everybody, that things are going to change a lot. You look back 5 years, the iPhone had only just appeared, and think what changes happened in mobile technology software in that period of time. It's incredible. So we're trying to build the company to be very used to change and embracing change and able to adapt as we need to do and will need to do in 10 years' time. So it is a conscious strategy of ours, I guess. And also, the difficult part of our job is buffering our customers from that change as well, which is a very tricky balance to strike. It's great to release software all the time, but it's ever improving. But customers sometimes are like, hey, slow down. When do I take the software off the sushi train that's going past me and say this is a good version for me? So, we're always trying to balance those competing needs, especially for the larger enterprises. They like that less, whereas the smaller guys tend to be, I'll upgrade every time. And it's a tricky balance for us.
I thought this would be a role where partners like 7 Media would fit in quite well. What do you see for roles for partners, especially for us or others?
Oh, look, there's an awful lot. We have a big diaspora of partners doing all sorts of different services, right? There's a lot of opportunity. We have a huge customer base doing a very diverse series of tasks with our tools. The tools themselves are very abstract, can solve a whole lot of problems within your enterprise. And one of the top things experts can do is just come in and understand your business and understand the software at a very deep level, and try to marry them together to make that a productive partnership between those two. Look, I think there's obviously troubleshooting and things that experts can do. There's all sorts of business mapping exercises they can do, advice on the software, integrations with other tools you have, and then just understanding your needs and ongoing change in a business. Almost like a coach in a way on the side, sometimes coming in and saying, hey, here's something new, or here's some stuff in the marketplace that could help you out. You've got problems over there that I can solve in a hopefully affordable and efficient fashion. I think there's a lot of things that they can do. The interface between us and our customers, especially the big guys, is a good point for the experts to be involved.
Okay. Coming to something that is keeping me busy discussing with customers is Atlassian is innovating so fast, but at the same time people struggle with their specific feature request, their specific bug doesn't get fixed. And they first of all, they don't understand why you add those tiny social nerdy features and don't tackle their big enterprise needed bug. Like let's assume like changing names of users in Jira was impossible until, is it Jira 6 or Jira 5 when you change that? It's not until
Yeah, not until recently. I know 6.0 improves on rename user quite significantly, and there's a little bit more work to do in 6.1, I think, and then Confluence 5.2 has rename user.
I want to know when you're going to fix that. I have this bug and I want to have this solved, and Atlassian doesn't give me any info when they are going to tackle this.
Sure. Well, firstly, rename user is a feature, not a bug, technically. But look, it's hard. I mean, we have thousands of customers and tens of thousands of customers, technically, and maybe hundreds of thousands now of feature requests. Look, we try to have a very good sense of balance when we solve things and put work towards things. We'd love to solve every single issue that every person has. It's a bit of a Sisyphean effort. It's never going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. And so we try to have a good sense of solving the highest priority ones, multiplied by the ones that have the greatest impact on people and all that sort of thing. So we try to make the best decisions we can at weighing all that up. No secret sauce there, just a lot of everything from customer interviews to the voting system to things on the strategic roadmap to acute customer pains that customers are going to be feeling next year but aren't feeling this year because we sort of see where they're moving en masse. All those sorts of things factor into it.
Okay, now I have this one change that I want to have in Jira or Greenhopper, and how do I promote it? How do I make my Cannon-Brookes know that that Atlassian needs to fix this? Can I call you? Can I send you an email? How can I kind of put this in front of the role?
I mean, you could do all those things. I'm not going to listen necessarily just because an email comes in. I'll factor it in like everything else we do and make sure the right product managers and engineering managers have that information and can filter that into the whole thing. We tend to be very sensitive to individual customers screaming loudest. It's not necessarily that therefore the most important issue just because one or two people are screaming very loudly, and so it's our job to effectively balance that on behalf of the entire customer base. And that can annoy people at times. They're saying, hey, this is a big issue for me. It's like, yeah, but unfortunately it's not a big issue for anyone else, and we have a limited set of engineering resources, and we've chosen to put them towards something else. There's no secret sauce. People are going to get hurt by that, but hopefully they understand. On balance, we try to make the best decisions for all of the customer base, and not only individual customers, but all of the different market segments that we have. 10-person companies through to 10,000-person companies, and balance them all relatively equally for their given weights and priorities.
Yeah, what I've told a lot of customers is it's kind of the downside of transparency. You can see all the bugs. You can see how long they have been there.
Try to find any of that from any other company, right? IBM, big companies, they all have tons of bugs in their software, right? Just because you can't see a list of them and you don't know when it was opened doesn't mean that they don't look exactly the same way. In a way, we kind of hold ourselves to account for the transparency that we have. We used to have a top voted issues list. It's still around somewhere. I don't think it's quite as important as it used to be, but people would always complain, how come you haven't solved these issues? And it's like, mate, every time we solve them, there's another 10 that are in the top voted issues list. You understand that, right? Like, yeah. I can, it's like, look, 30 people voted for this one. It's like, yeah, but we just solved the one that 300 people voted for, and as soon as we solve it, it's not on the list anymore, right? And it's a new top 10. So, you're never going to, that top 10 will never be zero. There will always be a top 10.
That's pretty much it. If you had one thing why people should get a partner help them, what would that be?
I think in a lot of cases it's that you want to get more value from the tools that you have, or you think there's problems that you're not quite sure how to solve, right? The experts literally named are experts at our software and the problems that it can solve for customers. So if you think you have a series of those problems, ring them up, have a chat, see if you think they can solve your problems. And in some cases, it may be more worthwhile to get an expert in to solve your problem and to help you, and you may get much greater benefit out of the money that you spend there than having to learn all of that yourself. It's not your job necessarily to be an Atlassian expert. As a customer, it's your job to solve whatever it is, whether you're making cars or healthcare or sending rockets into space or whatever you're doing. That's what you should be an expert in, and then you can let these guys be the experts at how our tools help you solve problems in order to launch rockets or whatever it is that you actually want to do.
One more kind of a private question that you naturally don't have to answer, but what does it mean as a founder of a one time Atlassian was small, and now you have how many employees?
About 700-ish.
700, okay. And what does it change? How does do you try to, or do you still have the same life, or is it everyone ringing you up, asking you for an interview like I do, and you have to protect you with fences and all this stuff, or didn't change anything? Tell me.
We're pretty low key. No fences or anything crazy going on. Look, life changes. It gets more complicated and more busy. But nothing too extreme.
Do you code anymore?
Yeah, a little bit. So we have our ship it days once a quarter. I'm usually involved in those. It's good to take a day off.
24 hours in a quarter?
24 hours in a quarter. It's not a lot. 1 day out of 90. And I probably miss one of those by being overseas or traveling one a year. So maybe 3 out of 4. Look, we try to keep in touch. I mean, we sell about a third of our business is selling technical tools. So it's important that a lot of our management team understand what that is and the latest trends and technologies and things. But no, they keep me away from the code base on a day-to-day basis. That's a good thing. We've hired people who are much better at that than we are.
Yeah. And on an operational level, what's the thing that you're working on the most? No matter if it's important or not, but what consumes the most time? Is it Stash, or is it Confluence, or Jira, or any other product? Or new products?
No particular products. I mean, we always have about 10 to 20% of resources going towards creating new product at any given time. The last year we've certainly had a lot of effort going to HipChat. It's about a year old with us. Dash is about a year old. Both of those have big teams. The marketplace has a lot of people working on it now, and we've sort of launched V1, V2, and we still have V3 coming up. Our on-demand SaaS offerings consume a huge amount of resources as we scale them up to kind of crazy numbers and learn about running services on behalf of customers at a sort of world-class level. All things that are taking us up. But then again, Jira and Confluence both have the biggest teams that they've ever had working on them. So, the change that those products has gone through in the last 12 months has probably been the biggest change that they've individually ever been on as well. So it's sort of hard. The new things are always, what draw people's focus. But, just the Confluence product alone, for example, has had a huge 12 months and has even more coming up in the next 12 months. So,
how many employees did Atlassian have when you failed to manage to call your employees by name? Or can you still call?
No, I can't. I can't admit to
700.
being able to recall them all by name instantly now. Probably somewhere in the 1 to 200 mark, I guess. It's also complicated. We've got more offices, so we have like 7 offices now around the world. 8 offices now. Obviously we can't travel to all the offices all the time, so there's always new people. We got to Amsterdam yesterday and met all of the new staff that I hadn't met. Some of whom have been here for, it's probably a year since I was here last. So that's just a natural growth of the company thing. We have great leaders in each office that, take care of a lot of our role there. So,
how do you touch base? How do you get into operations so deep that you know that you're still building awesome products? Or are you so disconnected that you just trust the others?
No, we have a lot of trust, but we're a very product-centered company. Founders on down, we spend a lot of time on the products, on the releases, whether we're going in the right directions, and we spend a lot of time in customer service and different things. I try to spend some time dedicated on the customer service queue just to get a little temperature check of what the customers are saying, those sorts of things. Look, the day we stop shipping quality product in our model and with our business, we're DOA. So it's certainly something we spend an awful lot of time on.
Last question. From a business perspective, isn't it weird that Atlassian doesn't offer subscriptions? Wouldn't I, as the company founder, get way more money if people ordered my product and then automatically paid every year for the maintenance? What you're doing is you're letting me choose as a customer if I want to prolong, which in a lot of cases, people who are lazy or who don't care, they run out of maintenance. You don't get any money, although they may have wanted to upgrade. Don't you put a lot of work in your business on top and lose a lot of money there?
I wouldn't say we lose a lot of money there necessarily. I mean, obviously on the on-demand side, it is a subscription service. Because we have constantly consumed resources that you're paying for as well as the software, right? Behind the firewall, if you're not consuming our resources necessarily, I'm not sure why you should pay us. And if you're not consuming resources, you're not taking updates, which we've had to put work into, engineers have put time into building those updates to the software, and you're not asking us for support questions and actually getting feedback from us, software's a complicated good like that. Should you pay to rent it constantly? You don't rent your car, right? You can. There's models where you can rent your car, but at the same time, if you buy the car, you deserve to be able to drive it by yourself as little or as much as you want. So we've never really spent a lot of time with subscription software behind the firewall. We have a lot of frequent releases, and customers, can buy maintenance and do in huge numbers to stay current. So, that's them, paying us a smaller amount of money each year in order to pay for our constant updates, which is, in a way, a subscription model, if you like. It's just to opt in. If you believe we're doing a good job and we're making better products every year, and you want to get next year's Confluence, then you'll, pay maintenance.
Yeah, actually, in my opinion, or my answer to clients asking me that, it's a difference between a lot of big software companies, no name dropping here, and Atlassian, which they live from the maintenance, and you live from the innovation. And if you wouldn't innovate, why should I buy an update if it didn't have any new feature? So you have to come up with new features to make me want to upgrade, right?
Yeah, or not even new features, or just improve the product generally, right? The last sort of year or two, we haven't, on some levels, we haven't added anything massively new to Jira and Confluence, but at the same time, they're way better products than they were then, right? We've simplified them, improved the user interfaces, and made the experience of using them and taken existing features and upgraded the existing features, if you like. And that's as important as adding new widgets to the site. Right?
He's making things small. Actually, you revamped the whole interface of Jira 2 times in 2 or 3 years, from my point of view. And you revamped Confluence, the whole interviews, every single template recently. So this is, in my opinion, a big feature, better than a feature, because it's increasing adoption and all this stuff. What about all the plugin developers that saw, Confluence is so ugly and it's so difficult to get user adoption. So I'm going to have this awesome theme that will help you adopt. And now with Confluence 5, their argument has kind of weakened, or you could find stronger solutions.
It's a little complicated for us sometimes as a platform vendor, right? We're not going to not improve the UI because someone else sells a theme. Mm-hmm. I think we've been pretty open with the ecosystem that they have to have an ongoing provable business, as do we, right? A lot of the theme vendors that we do have are really loving Confluence 5 though, because of the capabilities it gives you. We still haven't built and have really no plans at the moment to build a full theming engine with all the sort of branding and everything else that people want. So we've given the marketplace vendors that make themes a whole bunch of new toys to play with in Confluence 5, that they can make better themes and more scalable themes. Especially now we've moved everything to the Atlassian design guidelines. Their themes are a lot less brittle than they used to be in terms of how they play with the interface, because we have a lot more standards now. So that's really good for them as well. I think there's always going to be a market for people to buy commercial themes for certain use cases in Confluence. So I'm not too worried about that.
How many times have I said to them, asking the last question, just walk away whenever whatever you want. You're donating your software, which is awesome, but actually I can steal your software also. Like, I'm getting an evaluation license from you, which will make me 90 days or 30 days, I don't know, I can use your software, install it, and then once in a while I renew that with the same account or a different account, and it's actually, I would say, Atlassian doesn't care. I can use it ongoing and ongoing and ongoing. I've never heard of any customer getting a call, "Do you want to buy now?" As you've gotten like so many evaluation licenses now. Isn't that something, money laying around the table that you could simply collect?
Look, it's always a hard question, right? I mean, we want to be as friendly to customers' needs as possible. I don't think it's a huge amount of money lying around the table. I'm sure there are some people that probably abuse.
I'm loving that. I'm just.
Well, I mean, it's a hard one, right? I think there's definitely some people that abuse the system. I'm sure, but we always struggle to make the system. You know, there's a limit to which the system can be changed to stop the abuse without adding effectively pain to the rest of the people that are doing the right thing. And so we always try to walk that delicate balance between making it too restrictive and too many policies and rules and regulations and too difficult, increasing the friction for people to get started who are generally honest. And I think most people and most corporations are generally honest, right? I mean, they realize they run the trial 30 days, maybe 60 days. They like it, they buy it. They don't like it, they don't buy it. And
actually, my take on this would be, you're losing a couple of $10 payments, or maybe tons of them, $10 payments. Sure. But if you're kind of a company with 100 or 500 people, you can simply not afford to steal software.
That's right. I mean, we've always said we want to make a piracy and everything else a conscious choice. And if you're consciously choosing to steal software, then, you know, I don't want to waste any engineering resources kind of stopping you. It's a choice. And as you said, most 500-person, 1,000-person organizations, they don't make the choice to consciously steal software. So, you know, I'm sure our customer base would rather we put engineering resources into building better products than better copy protection schemes, which don't actually help them.
I've heard 2 or 3 people kind of wondering, what will Mike Cannon-Brookes wear when he goes public? Is he gonna get a haircut and a suit and a tie and?
Absolutely. Suit, tie, haircut, shave. I think that's mandatory for the big stock exchanges. So we'll see. Maybe find an exciting suit to wear or something.
There was another guy saying they haven't gone public because Mike has got to want to shift that event. They don't want to shave. They don't want to put on the time. That's why they're going public.
Mate, if going public required us to wear a suit and shave, then I don't think that would ever happen. Look, we're us. So we make no pretensions or complaints about who we are or aren't. And I don't think that's going to change.
Cool. Thanks, Mike.
That's all right. Thank you.